Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 30 of Podcast Beyond.
Beyond
30.
The big 3-0.
I am your host, Chris Roper, editor-in-chief for the IGN PlayStation team, and with us, as always, we have editors Greg Miller and Jeff Haynes.
Woo! How's it going?
And associate ass editor Ryan Clements.
Hey, what's up, man?
How's everybody doing today? It's Monday again.
I'm sick.
Once again. Oh, what do you got?
It was a chest cold, then it moved to my head, so now it's a head cold.
Whoops.
I see.
How does it jump like
Saturday
that?
night, I slept from 10 o'clock in the evening until 1:45 in the afternoon Sunday morning.
I like to do that.
Yeah, just for kicks?
It's good times, yeah.
Yeah.
Get your rest back. I'm on the sort of like, during the week I need 8 hours, and say I get like 6 hours. That means I'm -2. That means
try
I
to
got
bring
to
it
make
back
up
up.
those 2 on the
During the
weekend.
weekend.
I have a constantly, like, it's a persistent time of, so if I sleep 6 hours all week, all of a sudden I'm -10. And instead of sleeping 8 hours on Saturday, I got to sleep 18 to get it back.
There you go.
Ooh.
How's the baby like that?
Nice.
That doesn't work out so much.
Yeah.
All right, let's just go right into it with the Roper Report.
Time for some news.
So there's a bunch of game news on here, but we'll get to that in a second. First off, even though it was just announced, a couple weeks ago, Skype has already been delayed in Japan.
No.
What the hell?
Apparently they're doing something with like Skype Limited, or I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, it's not coming out when they said it was originally, and so
Gotta buy my cell phone back.
keep your cell phone in your pocket. Let's see, Rock Band peripherals are the separate giant bundle things are going to start shipping soon.
Mediocre,
drums,
yay.
Yeah, mediocre, yay. Drums will be shipping on February 12th for $80, and guitars will start on April Fool's Day for $60. So if anybody doesn't want to buy the giant package,
You're a
you can buy
fool to buy that guitar.
Yeah. So now the cool thing is, if you don't know from the PS2 game, is the PS3 and PS2 instruments are interchangeable because they're all USB. So they apply to both systems.
I have a question for you, Roper.
Let's see there.
Is it? I heard a rumor this weekend that it's if you were to buy a Guitar Hero 3 controller, or you buy the package for Guitar Hero 3, and you say, I want another Rock Band, or I want another Guitar Hero 3 controller for a Rock Band. If I buy the bundle of Guitar Hero 3, I heard that the game inside has a different SKU number, and I can't sell it back. Have you heard that?
No, that's the first time I've ever heard of that.
That doesn't sound right to me either. Why would anyone care? If it's not like the game's any different based on if I bought it with the guitar.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting to me.
I don't think it's true.
Yeah, we'll see.
You should let me expense a guitar for my own personal use, and I'll try it out.
All right, go for it. A white PlayStation 3 showed up in FCC filings.
What?
So if you don't like black and you want to get white, or
Racist.
whatever, yeah, then you can go for that.
It's just the man trying to keep us down.
Of course, that hasn't been officially announced yet, so TBD on but it's going to happen. Obviously, the FCC is never wrong. Let's see, THQ made some announcements last week in some financial reportings that they have killed off their Stuntman and Juiced franchises.
What?
And then, also, Frontline's Fuel of War on the PlayStation 3 has been canceled.
Oh.
Mediocre.
So, yeah. Okay, and then, let's see, more game news. Silent Hill Origins is making its way to PS2.
Finally.
So if you didn't play it on the PSP, you can do that. Haze was delayed.
Oh, yeah.
But back up, yay again, roller coaster ride on news today is GTA 4 has an official release date of April 29th.
Woo-hoo!
And then, lastly, I think my favorite news of last week was that we got our first supposed screenshot of Team Eco's next game, which, I don't know. It's on the site right now. You can go look at it.
Grand Theft Auto is better news.
I don't know. Eco and Shadow of the Colossus are two of my favorite games of all time. So
Well, there you go, then.
there you go.
All right.
3 months to go. It's not bad.
Now, I was thinking to myself this morning that gaming is a very consumerist hobby that we all have. You have to buy lots of products. They're constantly coming out. You play through something, and, a multiplayer game might last you a long time. You put a couple hundred hours into it. But generally speaking, we're always looking for something new to play. But how are we going to know what games are coming out in stores? How can we possibly know? Greg, do you have any ideas how we possibly know what games are coming out?
Yeah, you could listen to the official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all 3 platforms by the IGN editors.
Wow, that's fantastic.
I know,
Nice
surprising.
segue.
I've just made this up while we're gone, It's a new feature. Thought we'd try it out. Big news, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 2 get nothing this week.
Oh.
But the PSP gets Bomberman Land and Pursuit Force Extreme Justice. Extreme. Jeff, what'd you give Pursuit Force Extreme Justice?
8.0. Impressive.
Very impressive.
Yes, it is.
Now, most times, Jeff, I don't agree with you whatsoever. I do not
because you're
like talking
drunk.
to you, and I do not like hanging out with you. But I played Pursuit Force Extreme Justice this weekend. Blown away. Very fun. What do you say to that?
Away.
I think you need to put down the cold medicine.
I'm going to take back some of the things I said about you.
You should.
All right.
It's just mysterious powder all over me.
What happened?
Are you doing
like
coke in the corner, Ryan?
No, it's a black powder, and it is all over me.
Well, there is black powder, which is gunpowder basically.
Heroin, black tar.
Oh yeah, there's also black tar heroin. That I hear is kind of sticky though.
Black
We're
tar
going to have to
heroin.
watch you now.
Anyway, I think that brings us somehow. I don't know how, but that brings us somehow to topic of the week.
Topic of the week.
Toe.
So this week we're going to talk about. So there's rumors about the 80 gig PS3 being discontinued, and then there's also price drop rumors that a 40 gig PS3 revisioning, sort of with the white whatever the hell that's about, is going to come out with the price of $299.
It's a good price.
It's a good price. Now, so here's the thing: is Sony has not confirmed either one of these things. Jeff has been calling around to Best Buy and EBs and stuff, and sort of getting the update on what's been happening with the 80 gig thing. EB sells no systems. Best Buy is not commenting on rumor, speculation, or whatever the crap they say. So there's no real solid truth to any of this stuff. The white PS3 we think we're pretty damn sure is coming, but the rest of it's sort of could it be happening now? So here's my take: is there was just all these price drops last year. The system's now at $399. You can get the 40 gig for, and the holiday sales went up because of that, so they're doing pretty well. If there is going to be a price drop now, people were saying that it was a week or two ago on that Friday that it was going to the PS3, the white one's going to come out and the price drop was going to hit. That obviously didn't happen, which I think was going to be stupid anyway. Because if there's going to be a price drop anytime soon, it's going to happen at some sort of event, be it GDC or E3.
And around the launch of a game, it wouldn't just be out of the blue. I mean,
exactly.
They would be like, "Hey, Metal Gear!"
Yeah, there'd be some reason to promote it.
Well, there also could be. So I could see this is you say, okay, GTA is coming out in April, so people are going to buy this. And people are going to buy, people that have been sitting there going, I don't want to spend a couple $100s on a system until there's some game that I really want to play. Here comes GTA. Now I'm going to finally plunk down money for either a 360 or a PS3. I don't know which one I'm going to buy yet, but we'll see what happens up there. And then all of a sudden, Sony comes out and says, "Hey, the system's $299 now.
Blu-ray.
Say 50. Say $50 of the 360.
Free online.
And it
Free
also
online.
counters the whole exclusive content on the 360.
Right. So buy our system or whatever. So that is, if this was going to happen, that makes the most sense to me. But I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, the price just went down too recently, and Sony really needs to do something kind of crazy. But I don't think. I think if another price drop happens, it won't be until E3. That's my guess.
Right now, it would make them look really weak. Like, hey, we just dropped it before Christmas, and now we're dropping it again.
Well,
Fire sale.
Well, yes and no. It could make the system look weak in the hardcore circles where you're constantly keeping up with this stuff, but then it could also make it look a little more powerful in the eyes of the general consumer that goes in the store and goes, "Oh, hey, Sony's giving us a deal.
Yeah.
I love Sony. Let's get their system."
I think that a lot of the good news that they've been getting in the past month makes it to the point where they really don't need to actually do anything. I mean, the Blu-ray HD wars are practically done. I mean, there's 8 out of 10 studios going Blu-ray. So pretty much all they have to do is just either wait it out till those last 2 studios join on board or just hold on. But there's absolutely no reason that they need to try and just force something in there.
There's some sort of mysterious liquid underneath the table here.
Ryan, are you passing some of your drug paraphernalia over to Roman?
I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, that's all right. But I mean, I don't think that considering a lot of the momentum that Sony has been picking up, they had a strong holiday season. Mm-hmm. They've got the Blu-ray thing. I don't think they need to do anything price-wise just to push more systems out of the door. People are buying them. Yeah. So unless they really are going to go hey, here's Killzone 2. It's coming out this summer. Here's MGS4. This is the package. Or here's GTA, and it's going to counter just like you were just saying.
But here's the thing though: is although sales were up in the December, November timeframe during the holiday season, sales were up for everybody, of course.
Yeah.
So Sony saw a big increase, but so did Microsoft and Nintendo.
The big benefit, I mean, you're talking about general consumers. The big benefit to dropping it would be able to do that and then launch a Blu-rays 1 campaign. It'd be like, hey, you know what? Mm-hmm. Here's one for $300, and it does what the 360 can't. Because I mean, I don't think a general consumer has a great idea of what the PS3 does or what why they'd want a 360 for that matter.
Now, on the other side, they'd also possibly to do that would also use that as a kickoff to slice Blu-ray prices across the entire spectrum. Because right now, standalone Blu-ray players are about the same as a PS3. The only difference is you have so much more with the PS3 because of all the functionality.
Right. Ryan, speak up.
Stop doing drugs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Don't do drugs.
I was not doing drugs. I insist that children do not do drugs. And I don't really have anything else to say. You guys covered it.
You've got to have some sort of opinion on this.
Well, I mean, what else is there? I
personally
personally don't think that they should drop the price right now because they haven't fully reaped the benefits of their recent price drop, as you guys have said.
This is what I want to hear. Continue saying what you're saying.
Okay. Well, see, if they lowered it now, that's all well and good, and they would get another influx of sales, and that would be good. But then those like true benefits, like the spike, would then level out. But if they rode this particular price drop out, and if they let it simmer down again, and
Ryan's making a chart with his hand right now.
With my hand, actually, yeah, you guys are the only ones that can see it.
Economics by Clements.
Anyway, if they rode it out a little bit and then dropped the price again and then restarted that like kind of influx of sales, that would make more sense to me.
Makes more sense to me
Indeed.
too. I like it.
And the really interesting thing is that like every place that we've contacted has completely denied like any connection with there not being an 80 gig on the system. I mean, it seems
what do you think about that rumor?
It seems like it's primarily just a Best Buy like move. Whether or not they actually have some kind of different information is one thing, but every other place like Toys R Us or GameStop, everybody else that we checked, like they still have it in their internal store systems. So
now, see, here's a different possibility that I don't know if anybody has brought up before. Is it could be that the system is not getting canceled but changed.
Yes.
So you could have an 80 gig system, but instead of packing in MotorStorm, you have Resistance in there now or something. Mm-hmm. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, the other thing is something that we've been talking about for a long time, for a couple of episodes, is, like phasing out like the systems that they have right now, throwing in DualShocks as it being like part of the first wave of that too. So we don't know necessarily if it's solely like whether they're refocusing the game add-on, or if they're going to start throwing in more Blu-ray movies to hype that up, or if it's going to be a DualShock 3 configuration.
So I like the fact that you have the high-end system with more drive space and a game packed in, right? Because the system, aside from like USB ports or whatever differences, and from the 40 gig, the systems fundamentally are identical. You have more drive space, so that doesn't matter. You have Wi-Fi everywhere, or whatever. If Sony releases a system that comes with the DualShock 3 on the high-end one, and then the low-end ones just come with a 6-axis, then you have a split consumer base again, where you're like, well, we'll add Rumble, but maybe not make it go crazy because not everybody has Rumble. It's not nearly as big as of a deal as not having a hard drive or whatever, like the 360 split SKUs are. But that'd still be kind of annoying to have. Some people get Rumble, some people don't, and then.
Yeah, but we also have to look at the fact that, the split that we have right now is 2 USB ports versus 4. So if somebody is going to play and backwards compatibility. Yeah. So if you have somebody that's even going to play like Rock Band or whatever, you have to buy a hub. If you have certain other things, or you even have already purchased the system, you have to go out and buy the DualShock 3 peripheral anyway when it finally gets released. So it's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility that could happen.
Right.
But it's definitely one of those things that. You can only expect is going to wind up happening relatively soon, especially when they start coming out this spring.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think that the reason that Sony has been doing these dramatically large amount of changes to their system is because they're actually convinced that this is going to be a long-term plan, like what Greg and you were joking about before about the 10-year plan? But do you think that they're really serious about that? They're feeling everything out now so that they can truly invest in like a long-term.
I don't think so because Sony's going to hit that long term, but they need to worry about the years 5 through 10 later on. They need to.
Yeah. Well, it all hinges on right now.
Yeah, exactly. So if they only wind up selling, say, 15 million units through the lifespan of the thing, it's not going to be worth keeping around for those last 5 years. What they need to do is get it up to 50, 60, 70 million as soon as possible, so that those 5 through 10. Years are very good to them.
Yeah.
So right now there needs to be some very aggressive changes in what happens, which price drop makes sense. Although I don't, I don't think it's now. I think it'll be later. But we like in the predictions piece that we ran a couple weeks ago, we had that Sony would do some pretty crazy stuff towards the end of the year, and I think that's what's going to happen. Is you'll see towards the end of the year you'll have price drops and package deals with old games like MotorStorm and Resistance in there, and you'll see some pretty crazy stuff there. But I don't think it's going to happen right now. But Sony does need to get very aggressive with what they're doing. The lineup of games that are coming out will help them with that. But you gotta hope that games like Metal Gear Solid 4 are enough to offset Ninja Gaiden 2, because Microsoft does have their own tricks with their sleeve. So
Yeah, and
we'll see what happens.
Just because they have a 10-year plan doesn't necessarily mean that they're expecting that it's going to be exactly the same. I mean, technically the PS2 is still on a 10-year plan. And, you see the number of titles being released on it dramatically dropping because it is a lot older. So just because they have that 10-year plan doesn't mean that the PS4 isn't being thought of or being, in the early stages of development, or they're planning on releasing it maybe in year 5 or year 6 because of just technology advancing.
Technology.
Tech 9?
Tech 9?
Okay, I think that's a pretty good end to our segment. Let's, getting back to what I was saying earlier about how we're very, gaming's a very consumerist hobby. We have to keep buying products, and they keep coming out. Now, not everybody wants to go to the store to buy a game. Sometimes we need to look online to see what's happening. Games come across the PlayStation Network. We see a lot of games we can just download there. Nice and cheap ways to do it. Lots of interesting titles. But, how are we going to find out what games are coming on there? I think one of the best ways, aside from reading IGN.com, is to go to the official PlayStation blog. But what are we going to know is coming up on the blog? Because that stuff usually gets updated right before it comes out. How can we see into the future?
If only we had someone who could foretell the future.
Could you tell us, Rope, how this would be possible? How could we?
Maybe we need a guest appearance by somebody.
Really?
I think we do. Like our most hated person ever, Blogneck.
Oh, that's not true. I get a lot of...
That guy! God, I hate him. He's such a piece of shit.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it?
Huh. You just let this happen. EIC of the channel, you let some douchebag come in here every week and drag the show into the gutter.
Huh. All right. Well, all right. You're going to have to finish the segment now.
Fine.
We need to get
his
this
notes.
information out to the readers.
Brush this brain matter off.
There's blood on my suit now, and...
Looks like there's more coming for Pursuit Force today. Ooh, Pursuit Force. We were just talking about that game. There'll be more on Papapone, MLB 08, Hot Shots Golf Out of Bounds. Hey, you had an interesting point about the Hot Shot title. What do you think?
I think it's a terrible title.
Why is that?
Because so what I said was,
What was your analogy?
It's sort of like calling a bowling game bowling in the gutter. I mean, you wouldn't say that. They should it should have been called Hot Shots Golf. Drive down the fairway or some crap. I don't know.
There you go.
But
down the fairway.
Yeah, down the fairway.
Yeah.
That's an okay title. It's kind of boring, but it's way better than Out of Bounds.
On the green.
On the green. There you go.
There you go.
On the green.
There's a preview of a couple things coming to the PSN this Thursday, and 2 announcements. Ooh.
Christ, Greg, now I got to wash my cap off, man.
Yeah, he splatters. He goes splat.
You know what? I'm going to wonder how long Nate notices
The dead body under his desk?
The dead body under his desk. I'm going to guess a couple of weeks, at least a month.
Yeah, totally.
You know what it's time for?
That was unexpected.
That was unexpected.
Mail call!
Male, female?
Mail's in the mail house.
Chain mail.
Let's see. Let's get it started here with HB Guy 311 says, "What's with the disturbing trends of games not having split-screen multiplayer? Are devs becoming lazy?"
I just think nobody likes to play that way anymore. Most people don't. I just put my foot in my mouth.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's the gun that you're packing, dude.
So here's what it is. I think
Put the gun in my mouth.
in order for you to have split-screen multiplayer going, you figure you're drawing the same amount of pixels on the screen, but there's also you need to the scene has to be rendered from multiple different angles, so you take more horsepower to do that. That's why a lot of games that maybe not a lot of them, but you see games that go with split screen and they lose image fidelity or they slow down a little bit. It's because it requires more horsepower. So right now, developers are still getting used to programming for these systems, and they're trying to throw as much as they can in there to get people to buy their games, make the game look as pretty as possible. And if all of a sudden they cut it in half and do split screen or 4 ways or whatever, then they have to take concessions on their visual quality. I think that's the main reason.
Yeah, I like calling a car split screen, but I can't do Warhawk split screen because you just can't see anything around you. It's like
it does get to be a little bit tricky.
Size is a big issue,
Yeah.
but I think that
Really?
yes, absolutely.
Size matters.
It does.
At least Orion.
No, yes.
go hard.
But I'm just saying that I think that saying that developers are lazy and it's not happening anymore is not necessarily true, because most big games that have online multiplayer also feature a split screen feature or like a shared screen. Like, for
Not
example,
all of them, though.
Well, I know, but a lot of them, like Call of Duty and Halo 3, I mean, like the big titles have like split screen as well as online.
But Rainbow Six doesn't.
True.
So,
yeah.
And then the most recent case where people were getting pissed about it is Burnout, which used to have it and now doesn't.
That is true.
Rogue Leader wants to know
Target.
which big exclusive games coming to the PS3 in 2008 do we feel have the potential to be sleeper hits that haven't gotten much press or coverage yet? I think the biggest one that would be potential for a sleeper hit will be Echochrome. I think that game's going to be super cool.
Yeah.
And I think people in the hardcore stance will know about it, but I don't think a lot of casual gamers will pick it up. But we'll see about that one. But I think that game's going to be super cool.
Very good pick.
Yeah.
I think Infamous is going to get. Again, we're going from a trailer, but I think it has the potential to get a lot of critical acclaim. But I don't know many people who just to be early adopters and jump right out there on it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, yeah, there's only been one trailer, so when we see more of that
I already gave
game,
the game a 10 though. So
yeah, there you go.
You heard it here first.
Now you go check the reader review page.
Sneakite says, do we believe that gameplay recording / sharing, like in Skate or Halo 3, is going to become more commonplace in games in the future?
Man, I hope so. That is one of my favorite things in Skate, to go watch how people screw themselves up.
Yep.
You ever seen the one where the guy launches himself off his board and then lands on the park bench, like sitting like this?
Oh, yeah. That was good.
I think it really depends on whether or not the developers are trying to build or foster a sense of community amongst the players or not. I mean, we already know that Little Big Planet is basically being designed around that. So that's obviously going to be one. Pain is supposed to be implementing that a little bit later on. So part of it is really whether or not the developers are trying to get like everybody that wants that game to have that game experience.
SingStar.
Yeah, SingStar. And so, like, if they're seriously planning or focusing on that as part of the entire multiplayer structure, it'll happen. Otherwise, it's probably not really that much of a developer concern.
I think it's more important in games with like you're talking about Halo 3 or Skate. Those games have crazy physics. They're very physics-driven games. Ragdoll. So basically, there's a whole lot of unpredictable stuff going on there, which is what makes that stuff great.
Right.
If you're talking about a game like, say, Devil May Cry 4, as interesting as it is, people or Metal Gear Solid 4 or something, you might watch somebody do like a 200 hit combo, but that's something that you can go and recreate yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas in Skate, you have the dude launching himself into the park bench. Like that would take forever to recreate that. Yeah. And so that's the perfect platform for that sort of thing. And and some of the kills that you see in Halo 3, some of the online movies you see from that are totally crazy. And I think those games are better in it. And like Greg, I really hope that we see more of these sorts of features. They're certainly very cool. It saves you a lot of time having to hook up your computer to your, PC and hope that it's recording when you do something crazy. So, Dr. Danger says, how stoked are we guys for Metal Gear or Twisted Metal Extra Twisted Edition? I almost said Metal Gear again.
Metal Gear.
And then part 2, he says, what do you think the odds are of there being a Twisted Metal on PS3? I think the odds of Twisted Metal on PS3 are very high. I think it's going to happen.
I think that maybe they should read the David Jaffe interview that I conducted because he answers that question that I asked him.
There you go.
Plug!
There you go. So go back and read our thing.
Yeah.
How psyched are we for Twisted Extra Edition? Extra Twisted, whatever the hell it's called. Extra Twisted Edition.
I'm reviewing it.
There you go.
Are you psyched for it? Did you play it, or you watched Sam play it, or
no? I mean, I just played it for like 5 minutes, and then I had to play a different game. But
what'd you think?
I mean, it's just it's a remake plus a ton of extra stuff. It should be great for fans and pretty neat for people who just kind of want to get into some car combat.
Yeah,
just kind of a niche genre, but it's still very cool.
Road Rash.
Lots of people. Actually, we hit that in our other thing. Nathan 2587 says, what would be the best multiplayer online game for the PS3 in 2008? I think maybe 4 big front runners for this are Resistance 2, Killzone 2, Little Big Planet, and then
Africa.
I wasn't thinking of Africa, but maybe so. And then, I can't remember what my number 4 is.
I just screwed you up. Sorry. It's all
Damn
my
you.
fault.
I'm saying SingStar.
No.
Ghostbusters.
This is what happens when you do the drugs. GTA? Or Gran Turismo, I mean?
Well, we actually have a question about GTA in a second here, which we'll get to, but I don't think that's going to be... Well, Gran Turismo, we don't know if it's going to be this year or not.
That's true.
It's almost impossible to say what... Chazal? Yeah. It's almost impossible to say what the best multiplayer games, because we don't... the year's only begun. We don't even know. What games are going to be announced at E3 that are coming out this year, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, the other game was SOCOM.
Oh,
yeah.
I think Sony's got a lot of plans for SOCOM. So at minimum, I think in the leaderboard / clan support and all that stuff for SOCOM should be pretty cool.
I'm still holding out faith for Resistance 2, though.
Yeah.
I mean, 60-player
Resistance
multiplayer.
promises so much.
The
first online was so good that you have to just go, okay, it's going to be better than that. And I mean, the easy bet is Resistance. And then if somebody else beats it, then the game that beats Resistance 2 online is going to be amazing.
Right.
So
I think they can pull it off. I totally trust Insomniac on that one.
yeah, so there you go. The Last Hakaru wants to know, do we think the rumors about Crysis coming to the PS3 are true? Do we think that the PS3 can handle such a graphically intense game, or would it have to be toned down for a PS3 release? That's a tricky one, because if you look at, just from whether it had to be toned down or not, if you look at games like Killzone or some other things on the system, you can see that they're actually pretty close from a visual standpoint, but in that case, though, Killzone is made specifically for the PS3 from the ground up, whereas Crysis would be a port. And so, or unless somebody rebuilt the engine from scratch.
What about Unreal? That came over and looked just as good.
Yeah, but
that's true.
But you could have,
Crysis looks better than Unreal.
Yeah,
sure.
You could have a lot more texture pop with Crysis on PS3 or a couple of other things.
Yeah,
frame rate drops.
Now, as opposed to whether it would come out or not, I know that I don't know what it's done since then, but I think the early sales numbers for Crysis on the PC were not nearly as high as they'd hoping it would be.
Well, nobody has that PC.
Nobody has the system.
Yeah, exactly. So
from 5 years in the future,
it might be a very good investment for them to go, okay, let's port it over to the PS3. Are you dying there?
Yeah, that was a good one. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Good job, Jeff.
It might be a good idea for them financially to port it over to the PS3, because then you go, okay, everybody can play it, and we're going to get some sales now. So that might be a good idea. I think the chance of that happening is better than average. We'll see. Raziel, whatever, 3, says, now that we know the release date for GTA 4, which again is 4/29, do you guys think we'll be seeing MGS4 released before or after that day? I say after.
I say after.
Yeah,
I don't think Kojima could care less about GTA. I mean, he might be interested in playing it, but I don't think it's necessarily one of those things that he feels he has to compete with them on.
What if we see it on that day?
Be rad.
Then all hell breaks loose.
That's like all the planets aligning and then shooting straight at the sun and blowing everything up.
I play them both at the same time.
The sky rains
That would be
blood.
awesome.
There was a move in Final Fantasy VII where that happens. All the planets just basically.
The guy slaps his hand together, releases 2 games.
That I believe was. I believe that was Ultima, was it not?
No, I'm talking about the planets all flying into the sun. No, it's a move that the final boss does.
In Final Fantasy VII?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
spoilers!
Yeah, didn't we already spoil something about Final Fantasy VII before?
Ryan?
And now you did it again. We're gonna get all kinds of
I didn't spoil anything.
Okay.
Go back to the corner.
Jeff ruined Pursuit Force for Ryan today.
I didn't even say. I could have said who the boss was, but I didn't. I just said that there is a move that this happens. It's a very minor.
All right. Well, let's see what kind of hate mail you get. Everybody write hate mail to Ryan. Primal Reptiles X360, who's apparently writing to the wrong show.
Nice.
Says, will GTA 4 have any co-op or multiplayer over PSN function? I know 360 has exclusive content coming to it, but will the PSN get a different set of content or no extra content? Well, if you're talking about multiplayer and co-op and stuff like that, Rockstar a long time ago said there was going to be some sort of multiplayer or online component, I guess, to GTA 4, but has not said a damn thing about it since then. If you remember back when San Andreas was building up to its release, they said there was going to be online in that. Co-op in that. And then it comes out and you just play on the same screen, and, it was this cool little added feature, but it totally did not change the way the game was played, really. It wasn't a giant thing that made you go, holy crap. So that possibly could be the same sort of thing here. It may or may not be a major feature. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. But as far as if there is online, that comes out and, assuming it's still in there, it's not going to be exclusive to the PS3. It's going to be the same on both systems. And then Angry Shadow Man wants to know if we saw Rambo.
Yeah, we did. IGN went to the movies on Friday.
Best comedy of the year.
It was good,
I still disagree.
Best comedy of the year.
No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I just disagree with Jeff calling it a comedy.
It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
There are definitely comedic moments, but as I have stated in your blog, there are certain moments where I think we should respect as pretty.
And as I countered, I don't take Sylvester Stallone to have any gravitas.
Sometimes
war
a
or
work,
anything else.
Sometimes a work elevates beyond the person who creates it. Beyond. So it doesn't matter who creates it. Sometimes something they create can surpass their own artistic limitations. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that I don't think we should be laughing at when little kids are getting murdered on the screen. That's not funny.
What about when he sets a nuclear bomb off with a claymore?
No, that's funny and that's fine. And I'm not saying that wasn't awesome and hysterical.
I just want to know where the Rambo game is.
Yes,
that doesn't make any sense.
Yes, bring it.
And then the last bit that I'll mention here from the reader mail is that Angry Shadow Man ends his email saying that sometimes he drives beyond the speed limit.
Whoa.
So watch out for the cops.
And I know We60 is listening to this, and I know he's going to think that we don't have balls for answering his question, but that's just because his question is entirely gross, and I don't know why he's asking it.
Awesome.
Just thought I'd throw
Which
that
one
out
was
there.
it on there?
He'll know.
Okay. Did you include it in the?
It's there. I included it for you.
Hold
You just didn't highlight it.
let me get out of the trash here. Let me find this thing.
Oh boy.
I
we
gotta
can talk about this
Oh,
stuff.
here. Oh yeah, I'm not answering this one.
See, I told you, and I don't know why he's. That's
Hey,
the
let me read
second.
it, let me
That's
read it,
the
let me
second
read it.
time he's asked too.
It's the very bottom.
Thank you.
Are you sure it's the second? It could have been more for all we know.
Yeah, that could have been more. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah, we're gonna pass on that one. All right. This needs to go in the trash. There we go. We don't want other.
Podcast stealing our questions.
Yeah, exactly. Or people seeing
Well, we do know
We60's
that
question
Nate
there.
is a.
Stealer?
Yes.
Well,
I don't know.
so that was it in the
I'm making
mailbag.
stuff up.
It's time for the pick of the week.
Pick of the week. Pursuit Force Extreme Justice.
Extreme.
Now, granted, I don't think we've played Bomberman Land.
Sunday. Yeah, we have not. I have not.
They haven't sent you a copy yet, or?
I played it for like a few minutes, like a preview build, but that was like a long time ago, and it was so quick I didn't really get
Was
a
it
feel
all right,
for
though?
it.
I mean, is it? Or I guess you don't want to say anything because you haven't written your review yet.
And I haven't.
Right.
I have no
Well,
idea.
based on that, yeah, then we'll say Pursuit Force Extreme Justice,
Yeah.
which we can all get on board with.
Also, I gotta say
Elite from Card
that
to Card.
I played a little bit of Pixel Junk Monsters over the weekend.
Oh, yes?
The game is super fun.
Really?
I highly
awesome.
recommend it. Ryan's review will be going up soon.
Yes, very soon.
Sooner than later, or he's fired.
Lies.
Now it's time for a.
I live here.
Now it's time for a segment that we like to call Editor Beatdown.
Editor
The
Beatdown.
announcement of the
Beat
segment. I mean,
down.
Well, unfortunately. Greg-
where's the voice? God
hold
damn it.
on. The voice has to come when there's an official beatdown. But right now, Greg has not checked his schedule fully, so we will have to. What we'll do? Here's what we're going to do.
It's a big week of parties.
Yes, we're.
Shouldn't you be
we'll
doing
give
this
you-
in the beatdown voice?
No, because it's not an official.
No,
beatdown.
you need to use the Beatdown voice.
Yeah,
You're
'cause
announcing that
you're
there's going to be an
news
announcement.
about the beatdown. Apparently, the powder's getting to him.
Yeah, it is.
Keep your eye on the board, because we'll try and give you a day in advance in case we do decide to do a beatdown. It'll be there, because we're still waiting on our copies of Call of Duty. They haven't come in yet.
Okay, that was fantastic. I think that was the end of the show.
No way.
Do we have
I
any
think it
program
is.
notes?
What
Or
about?
missing anything?
We could go around the room.
Well,
All around the room.
Do you want to go around the room?
Well, what about what
Yeah,
we're working
what-
on right now?
I don't know.
No.
Whatever.
Well, actually, I already said that I was reviewing Twisted Metal
Exactly.
right now.
So nobody cares anymore. They only want to know what you're doing. Old. Pwned.
old.
I think that's the end of the show then.
I actually have a programming note, though.
What's that?
We're going to be putting up an exclusive preview Thursday morning, and we're going to have a guest next week that is tied to that preview. So next Thursday, submit your questions primarily about the game in question to our podcast Beyond Questions, and we'll try and get them answered within next week's show.
You should question your answers before you answer them over, so that you question them better.
Whoa, what?
Yes.
Crazy.
I just wanted to make that a little more confusing to our readers. So,
Rope, are we allowed
Question
to?
you're answering
Am I allowed to
questions.
kind of plug and start hyping up the coverage that you and I were just arranging with? Remember what we just got in the mail?
Can we talk
about that?
Mention that in a very general manner, sure. In case something changes. 'cause
Right.
Some of the
All right. Well, this is definitely up for change, but we should be getting some very cool content regarding Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII in the near future, and we may be doing some features and whatnot.
So tune in to
Tune in soon for
psp.ign.com
Yes.
/ whatever. No, just go to the main page. You'll see stuff. We'll post it.
Turok goes live at the end of the week.
Oh!
Ooh.
End of the week.
The final word.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the show. Are we actually done
Once
now?
again,
I think so.
All right.
Greg's not going to shoot anybody anymore?
No,
That's
more
good.
death. You
All
know,
right,
he's just
so,
been lying here. We haven't even cleaned up the body yet.
Yeah, since Craig's sick, I think Ryan's got a song for us.
I do. This is gonna whatever. All right.
Whatever.
That sounds very
motivation.
enthusiastic.
I'm gonna try and replicate a piano. Doon 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 doon
Wow.
doon 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 doo 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 doo. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you ride in all the time. Doon doo doo doo. Maybe I'm amazed at the way we hate you. Doo 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 doo. Maybe I'm amazed at the flames you send across the line. Do. Maybe you're amazed at the way we need you. Do. Maybe I'm a fan, maybe I'm a hopeless fan who really wants some little big planet, and I don't really understand. Maybe you're a fan, maybe you're a preteen fan who really can't get the facts straight. That's why you tune into this band. Ooh. Maybe I'm amazed.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
I feel like drinking a beer and watching a sunset.